Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. A landing page isn't simply a homepage. It is a page with a purpose, and that purpose is conversion. To do that, we have a certain structure that we want to follow, best practices, in order to get conversion and generate leads to follow them to our other products or whatever it might be. For today's video, we're going to be using Nexter theme, and you can use anything that you want, but for this instance, Nexter gives us a lot of versatility because it gives us a blank slate to work with a theme builder, and we're going to take a look at that later on in the video. But it also has a bunch of features and blocks that you would otherwise need to download separately as individual third-party plugins. So we're going to experiment a little bit with blocks and the form blocks within Nexter that comes with it pre-built, and the advanced button block. So let's go ahead and start a brand new blank page, and we're going to name it our basic anatomy landing page site. Okay, we're going to be using just one page for this whole video, for this video tutorial, and sometimes it's really all you need. So let's call this our landing page anatomy example. Let's click on publish, and let's go ahead and save it. Okay, and once we save it, we can click over here and we can set it as our home page. All right, setting that as our home page, we can now view the page in a new tab, and you're going to see that it is blank. Okay, and this is our home page. Now, let's get right into it. You might want to have to take a look at our other tutorials to look at the individual blocks of Nexter one by one. This video is more of a tutorial on the anatomy general framework structure for a landing page. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with a container to contain our blocks. And let's go ahead and divide this into 3 here. Okay, and then we're going to want to go over here and then unlock all of these, right? Because personally, I would prefer to switch these over. Okay, and now we can add in our blocks here. So we're going to call this our hero section. And our hero section is going to be, well, it's going to contain our hero item, our product. So it can be anything. It can be an app on a device or a computer. It can be food. It can be, you name it. So for this example, we generated an image for, okay, let's drag and drop that into here on the right. And let's go ahead and insert our image here. And for this instance, it's going to be a placeholder free ebook. Okay, so again, this can be anything that you want. It can be food, gadget, product, whatever it is. And we're going to work with our full animations here that comes with Nexter, just to make it look really cool. And let's go ahead and insert our typography over here. So let's drag that into our area over here, and your headline has got to be what your potential lead clicked on. So if let's say under this YouTube video in the description, we want to say get your life together, and then colon, and then the link to this website. Okay, so you want to be able to gain your trust immediately that this is exactly what your potential client clicked on, and they see this. It's exactly what they saw clicking on the link, and it's trustworthy. How many times have you experienced where you click on something and it says something beside the link and it takes you to a completely different website? You know, your trust is gone out the door. So let's align this. And, with advanced typography, we can change our font to something that's reasonable. We can increase our font size just to make it bigger. Um, change our font style. And then next, we want to insert a some text over here, right? And then we could either just deal with the title over here separately, but for this instance, we're working with our container here, right? And then for our subtitle over here, we want to put something like it's like a description, right? Or uh, right? And this is just a description, like a subtitle to what your whole product is about. You can add a button over here, but we can do that later on. Let's go over the framework in general, and then we can add our little anchor buttons here and there. And then with the containers in Nextr, you're going to want to have to do this. Okay. Now let's save this and take a look at our live site. Okay, with that done saving, let's reload. And you're going to see that this is what comes up, right? So imagine you click on this, get your life together. You saw a video about it, about a free ebook, like, hey, check out the description below. Click on it. Wow, boom, here it is. Here's our headline. Yeah. And then this is, yeah, I do want to get my life together. Here is our free ebook, but how do I get it? Okay, so that's already step one. Step two is going to be adding the form area. So again, we're going to want to put in a container here, Flexbox, and we can get away with two over here. And let's go ahead and insert our advanced typography here for our heading. Oh, excuse me. Let's use a paragraph. How about that? A paragraph into here and a list, a stylish list over here, as well as another piece of advanced typography, or you can use a heading. Okay, there we go. And then over here is where we're going to add our form. So let's start off with this. This is going to be the description, the title of our form. Okay, so that's what it is. So pretty self-explanatory. And then over here, just to keep things all organized and orderly. And then over here, we're going to want to change our typography, maybe make it a bit smaller, just so it doesn't take up too much screen space. And you're going to want to have to double check this on your computer back and forth as we're going to do, just because things in the editor don't look the way they do on the live site, and as well as check it on your phone and your tablet and other devices such as that, okay? And then for our title, we can probably just keep it like that. And over here, let's go ahead and put in, well, let's change this to, uh, the key factors, okay, and then we're going to list a bunch of stuff here. And we have videos on each one of these blocks, right? So we're just going to go over here and, just keep it pretty bare bones. Customizing it may look pretty. That's all up to you with the colors that you want to do for your brand. So let's go ahead and list item one over here. Okay, and then next, we're going to add in our form. And you got to think about this from the perspective of a potential customer. Let's put on the simple newsletter form over here and see if we can add this into here. Okay, there we go. And what really are you looking at? So here we're just trying to be honest and descriptive about what happened there. Honest and descriptive about um, whatever it is that our oops descriptive and honest about whatever it is we are trying to sell. So let's go ahead and fix that. Sometimes these things just happen. I should have probably just searched image and then just drag and drop that into there and then into here with a free ebook. Okay, sorry about that. And we're going to put on our animation here. Okay, sure. Let's keep it like that. And then for the container, our alignment and everything. And for our form with our lead generation, we really want to make this as simple as possible. You can give just your email, but for Nexter's forms, okay, we have a bunch of actions after submit. You can integrate it with MailerLite, Mailchimp, Slack, Discord, you name it. We have a bunch of videos on how to set up the Nexter forms, by the way. But if you click on the form here, we get some other blocks here, such as name. And this works only within the form. So if I clicked on anywhere else, those blocks disappear. So if I clicked on this, I could make this required. Okay, and we're going to get their name, their email, and then we can automate all of this, right? You don't want to have to put in numeric inputs, phone numbers. Maybe if you need to, but keep it to a minimum, okay? Just so that your potential leads don't get too overwhelmed with whatever it is that you're asking. You just want to get their contact info, their lead, their lead, their data, in, out, you've accomplished your goal. Okay, so we've converted them. Now, let's go ahead and save this and take a look at how this looks like on our live site. Okay, so again, we're going to have to go back and forth between these, and we're going to take a look at our site. Okay. Yeah, I'll scroll down a bit, and here is how do I get it? I'll get a free copy. All right, I'll click on submit. Here are the key factors. I'm pretty convinced. Okay, but if your potential leads need some more convincing, we're going to go ahead and insert some testimonials over here. Okay, so there's a block within Nexter that allows us to put a grid of testimonials. Okay, and we can add a bunch of testimonials over here, and we can put it on a grid like this, right? And then for each one of these, let's go ahead and insert an image, and we have a few images over here of different people, and it's going to look a bit more convincing that way. Here, let's go with this, and then this one. And you can see that you're going to have to input them manually, but you can also, okay, let's go with her. You can also have it be dynamic fields. So if you had actual submissions from or comments, reviews like real reviews on your website or within your own database, it would be easier and you wouldn't have to manually type them in. Okay, and let's do the last one over here just to make things look interesting. And here are the testimonials. Let's go with who haven't we gone with? Let's go with the woman in red here. Okay, and then you can see that there are testimonials here, and that might do me some favors. And this is what they call social proof. Okay, so these are real people with real names, real job titles, and let's take a look at what they're saying about our product. Okay, and you can customize that however you want. And next, we want to put in let's say, a reinforcing statement, uh, just to drive home the idea behind what it is. Simple as that, right? And we can have another block over here with uh, probably info boxes or a pricing table, right? Such as this. But again, it's really up to you. So let's go ahead and uh, use a container here just so you can see the options for what we have on here. So for instance, we're going to go with an info box over here, right? We're going to go with let's look for it, a pricing table, a social review over here, right? And you're going to have to connect that with one of these, or you can just make it yourself, for instance. Um, let's just go ahead and choose a random person again for this one. And, you know, that's what it's going to be. And you can do these things, like integrate them like that. As an example, let's delete that. We can have our testimonials over here. We can have a team member and just use this as our testimonial. Or again, just copy these and put them onto there. So these are two examples over here. Let's duplicate this and then put this into here, and then duplicate this and then put this onto here. So this is an interesting way of, that should be fine. And this one, we're gonna drag and drop that into there. Okay, so this is like more features, more benefits. Like, okay, this is how much it's gonna cost, or what else am I gonna get from this, right? To make it more compelling, and we can add more features and stuff like that. You name it. So let's go ahead and click on save and take a look at our site, and it's basically complete at this point. We have our, all right, let's reload it. We have our hero section here, our statement, our heading, description, our call to action here. Our call to action, let's go ahead and edit that. It should probably be something very enticing. So rather than submit, it's like, sign me up now. It didn't fit. Let's make this %. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's our call to action, all right. Yeah, sign me up. Or you can change this to, I want to change my life. And it's gonna come out just like that. Okay, very convincing, key factors, some testimonials, some real people. Here's some amazing features and prices and benefits that I'm gonna get. And that's the gist of it. That's basically it. We're basically done here, but let's go ahead and add something really cool. And to do that, first, let's go ahead and go over here, and with this container, let's group this, okay? And then we're going to create this as a pattern, and we're going to call this anatomy form, just for this example, right? So it's going to be a pattern now, and we can copy this anywhere on the website from here, all right? So let's go back to the block inserter, and under patterns, you're going to see my patterns, and you can see we have anatomy form. Okay, we can drag and drop that anywhere on the site. So if you wanted to, right, we can duplicate this down here. Alternatively, something really cool that we can do, even cooler than just duplicating it, right? So if they scroll down far enough, they'll get it. Something that's a bit more clean, something that's a bit more sleek, would be to put in a advanced button. Okay, so we're gonna want to make this really pretty, and there's what, 23 styles to choose from. Let's center this up. Okay, and okay, we can change the color. Download now, and then we can um, change the style over here first. First and foremost, let's change the typography, make it a bit cooler to look at, make it bigger, make it bold. Text color can be the same, but the background color, I want it to be green just because, download buttons are green. And then for the border radius, let's put a 15 pixel border radius on it, and that should be fine. The icon, yeah, that's okay. But here we go, modal pop-up, enable pop-up and click, select template. We can either create one or select one, anatomy form. Okay, let's save that and let's duplicate this on the website. So we can make another one over here, put one under here, right? Duplicate this and then put one in between over here, right? And you're gonna see something really, really cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. And let's take a look at our live site. Okay, we're gonna reload that. And here we have our, once it comes up and loads. Okay, now we have this download button, right? So this is gonna be our call to action, basically. If I wanted to, I could just write sign me up now. Okay, so there we go. It's very enticing. I'm gonna hover over this, right? But yeah, I'm not that convinced. Yeah, just some key factors. But okay, I see there's some social proof here, some testimonials, and I can see that this one I didn't do it correctly. Let's fix that right now. See, it's good. It's always a good idea to test your site before you actually implement it. Okay, okay. Well, that one's saved. It's probably a caching issue. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and click on this, all right? So let's say I've reached all the way to the bottom, and I've basically missed the the form over here. But if I clicked on this, it's gonna pop up a form for us with the key factors, and I don't even need to scroll all the way up just to find the form. So it's right here. I'll type in my name, my email, and I'll be signed right up. I'll get the email with the ebook copy or whatever it is that you want to get your give your leads, and that's basically it, right? That's our site fully set up. But there we go. It finally loaded in. Okay, perfect, 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 perfect. And again, we were having issues with this. So let's go ahead and, again, insert an image. Something to do with my client or hosting or something like that. Okay. And put that into here. And then delete these, and this. And then there we go. Let's upload our image again. It might just be me messing up our site. Over here, let's set our on-scroll animation. There we go, fine. Let's go with that one, just so you guys can see. And with that saved, let's reload our site again. And it should be fixed. Perfect, okay. I don't even need to scroll all the way down. If I'm already convinced, I'll just click on this. Here's the form with the factors. and so on and so forth. Okay, just one last finishing touch, and that's to add a header and a footer to our site. So let's head back over to our dashboard over here, hover down to Nextr extension and click on Theme Builder. You're going to see we already have a bunch of different objects over here, but first off, we're going to make our header, right? Select template, type header, okay, additional settings, don't worry about that. Select next, include on the entire website, right? Since we only have one page anyway, and let's not worry about that. And it's going to take us to the block editor where we're going to be able to insert our objects here. So site logo over here, and we're going to replace this with one of ours. And we might have to scroll a fair bit down to get to our logo here. There we go. Website assets. And then we're going to want to put in our site title. Or we don't actually need to put in our site title, that is, but let's go ahead and just use the default one. And we're going to want to use a container as well over here. And let's go with this. Oops. Let's drag and drop our thumbnail over here, and then our site header into here. Is that right? Or we can align the center, or rather than use just this one, let's go ahead and use advanced typography and put in. And let's center this up. And we're going to have to go into our container here to just align everything together. And last but not least, let's add in our social icons over here that come with Nextr, right? And we can just have the little buttons over here. And under style, we can change the circle width and the icon size. And then we can change the image width, and we can change the icon gap around these, but that should be fine. Let's go ahead and click on publish, right? And by default, it should be activated. And there we go. If we wanted to space this out, we're going to mess with our spacing over here, but so far that's fine, right? You want to get your brand out there, right? The moment they get in here, they want to see your logo, your brand name, what it is you're offering, right? Just scroll down a little bit. Again, you can change up the spacing. If I probably didn't include the social icons over here, it'd probably be a bit higher. And then once they get down, if they haven't filled out the form, again, let's go ahead and create a footer. Just a real simple one, right? By default, it's already been activated. Let's add a new template. Footer. Lead gen anatomy. And on the entire website, and let's create it, right? And it doesn't have to be anything too special, too fantastic. After all, it is a footer, and we're probably only gonna need two things on here. So again, a Flexbox container like this, and let's put on our social icons here, and let's change them to the blocks like that, and then advanced typography or a title or something. Let's put it into space here. Okay, and then we can change our typography over here, just make it a little smaller. Right, layout, do that. And then our container over here, let's make everything centered up. Publish it. And then reload our site over here. And that's gonna be our lead gen one-page website, the basic anatomy of it. um, going through every single thing that you'd probably find, and you can add background images, a bunch of colors to suit your brand. But again, try to keep it simple because you're really trying to convince your users of um, availing of whatever it is that you're offering. So it's going to be keywords. It's going to be key here for the social proof. It's going to be real people. It's important to have the faces and names of these people, not necessarily their jobs or but what their words are, because these are going to be satisfied users, right? You're really going to try to persuade and convince them with amazing features. And it doesn't have to be text or prices. It can be features with just images, right? If you're selling a product, you really want to show the different colors that it comes with or what benefits that it can give you, okay? And then last but not least, we have our footer here just in case they want to reach out to our other content areas. Okay, so again, here is our site. And if I didn't want to scroll all the way up, I just had to click on here and I will get a pop-up for the form, and that's going to be your lead. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out our other videos for more cool content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you want to know where to get the blocks that we used in this video to make forms real simple, real easy, check out the link in the description. It'll take you to the website of Nexter where you can get the Nexter blocks yourself. Now, if you check out the pricing, they have 3 different levels: starter, professional, and studio. We recommend getting the studio one because it's a one-time payment. It's lifetime. You get all the blocks, so you don't have to worry about not having the right blocks to get what you need done. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to check out one of our other videos, or go ahead and check out our channel and subscribe to see more content like this.